morning. Welcome into Breaking Bet here on this Sunday, December 21st. Week 16, the end of the regular season is upon us. I got my guy Brad Thomas in here as I do every week. Brad, I got to say, man, I feel like we talk about this all the time, but the season really flew by.
Dude, it really flew by. Like, I can't believe, like, it felt like the trade deadline was just here. Now we're talking about teams are already eliminated from the playoffs. We were talking about incentives. Like, come on. We're already at incentive time now. That is the season. Season is going to be over before we know it. And then we're going to be begging for it to come back.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely an interesting one for sure. I don't know. I feel like we do this every year where the season flies by and it's like, wow, what happened? We're doing all of our stuff, and in the blink of an eye, it's gone. But the postseason is probably going to be one of the more interesting NFL postseasons we've had in a while, with seismic shifts in the AFC and the NFC having some teams that were expected to be better than they are kind of falling off. But Brad, before we get into the NFL, do you know why this weekend is significant?
Why? Christmas?
Yeah, fine. Take a guess. Take a real guess. Why this is a great week for me?
You're getting married.
Fuck no. Never getting married. What do you mean? No.
Dude, I have no idea.
It's not NFL rated. College baseball.
Oh my God. I should have known because I literally freaking asked you about the freaking Crimson Tide. Oh my God.
It's a great weekend for me. It really is. We got college baseball.
That was a layup.
What?
I said you gave me a layup and I just
gave you a layup. I gave you a layup and you
blew it.
Bricked it. So college baseball lines are back up, obviously, over the course of the next month. Be locking into the research and back to doing the college baseball podcast. But in the meantime, we do have a pretty pivotal week 16 for a lot of teams. That's not just who's getting in, who's getting out, but it could really shape the way the AFC and NFC standings for the playoffs end up, materializing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a big one. So week 16, we missed, obviously, the middle of the week, so we didn't talk about that great Rams-Seahawks game. I would have been on the Seahawks because that was a team I picked in the division preseason. 5-1, Brad, you know that. Since we've known that since August. Like, that was a great play. JSN, Puka proved once again they both have the size of a Burmese python. Just absolute raw dogging opposing defenses. It was crazy. Hit a couple bets. Shout out to my guy Ben Hostler. Ben,
dude,
absolute heater. Terrence Ferguson, anytime, came through 5-1. He had Terrence Ferguson 2 tutties, which I played at, I think I got it at like 65-1. He gave it out 100-1. So we got robbed on the Terrence Ferguson 2 touchdowns. Ben, shout out if you're tuned in yet. But so Ferguson would have been the second touchdown of the game on that 4th down. They called it back on some phantom. I think the left tackle moved early or illegal ship, something. I don't remember exactly what it was. They called that back, and then Ferguson ended up getting in later. So it would have been 2 scores. But we still cashed the 5-1 anytime. So shout out, Ben. It was a really good one, man. So a couple nice plays for me go through the bucket coming into this weekend with some confidence. Woke up early this morning, got a fresh cut, ready to set the world on fire this week of the NFL slate. So let's get into a high-flying matchup in the 1 o'clock window. That's going to be the Chargers at the Cowboys. Damn near pick 'em. This was 2.5 all week. Moved down to 1.5 here. Brad, is it Dallas for you, or do you think the Chargers in the travel spot get it done?
Yeah, this is a fun game. It's a really fun game because both of these teams, right, have the ability to kind of forget how to play defense, and both these teams have the ability to kind of explode offensively. This is a game where I had to ask myself, would this turn into a game that was won in the trenches, or a game where, these teams are going to be upright for a long time and able to, how do I say it, and able to get things going? For me, it's just really hard for me to back Dallas, right? It's just a team that they're out of the playoffs Where's the motivation factor come in? And then just defensively, they're so bad, right? 30th in EPA per pass, 29th in EPA per rush on defense. I have a slight lean towards the Chargers, but the travel spot is probably the one that I need to kind of overcome the most. And also, we talked about the trenches. The Dallas defensive line should be able to get to Herbert. So I ultimately lean Dallas, but I think if I just close my eyes and trust the numbers, it has to be the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers here. I like LA. And the thing is, and I weighed this in my handicap throughout the week. This isn't a bad travel spot. LA to Dallas is not a bad travel. It's not like LA to Miami or LA to Philly or something like that. This is a relatively capable travel spot, if that makes sense. Dallas being out of the playoffs now because they shit the bed against Minnesota as I think it was a 5.5 point favorite on the close. Minnesota, another Royal Mint spot came home. I'm pretty sure Minnesota closed at 5.5. That would have been 2 Royal Mint spots last week. Lions were the only one that did not come home. But, look, here's the thing. The one thing that I feel like in this game is pretty steady is the Chargers defense. Now, Dallas's strength of their team is their offense. They're able to move the ball inside the 20s. More times than not, they're able to come down with touchdowns in the red zone. So this is a defense or an offense that can score. Their defense is not good, especially in the back end. Like, you added Quinn Williams that tightened up the run game, fine. But you got a lot of weapons, and Lad McConkey, Q. I think Q's good to go today, I'm pretty sure. Keen Daddy, Aronde Gadsden. Like, there's a lot of weapons for this Chargers team.
Yeah.
So really keeping Justin Herbert upright is the big equalizer. If they're able to do that, I think they're going to be able to score and move the ball in this defense. And the truth is, I like the Chargers defense. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good. And I think it has the ability to play really, really higher to their variance.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately why I like the Chargers more. It really comes down to the defense for me. We could probably say the offenses are something of a wash, but the Chargers defense is exponentially better than what Dallas has to offer. And I think really that's the advantage. I mean, it's not a huge travel advantage for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's to me, that doesn't really play that much into my handicap. I just think the Chargers are the better team, and I feel like they're going to be able to move the ball in Dallas and score. And I think their defense is going to be able to come up with enough stops to keep Dallas off the scoreboard to the point where it's going to threaten what LA's doing.
It always kind of feels like for Dallas, they are I don't know. It feels like for Dallas, they're always trying to have to battle back because they're masking their defense, right? They're masking how bad their defense is. And I just can't realistically say I want any part of betting them as a favorite. Dallas is more fun, or at least to me, has more value whenever you're betting them as a dog.
Yeah. They do play better at home, though.
Yes.
Over the course of the season. Obviously, last week wasn't the case. But yeah, that's a big one here because LA technically is, I think, still alive for the AFC West crown. It would really take a meltdown from Denver for them to not get that. They're still alive for the AFC West. Denver just clinched the playoff spot. But yeah, I'm with the Chargers. This is a pretty good prop game. We'll get to that at the end of the show, just so we don't get bogged down by focusing on too many games and taking too much time. So We'll get to props later on.
Yep.
Next one's Minnesota at the Giants. Brad, this is interesting because I saw a tweet this morning that the Vikings flight to Newark Airport, there was a mechanical issue with the plane. They had to turn around or it got delayed. But either way, their arrival to New Jersey was didn't go as anticipated. Does that factor into your handicap at all, or do you think this is just a letdown spot for the Vikings? Giants, one of those, we're at home, we're expected to lose, but we're going to show up spots?
Is my question, what's going to be the status fully of Dart? Is a full go or?
Yeah, I didn't see anything that would indicate that he's not playing.
Yeah. Man. So the Vikings defense has progressively gotten better. right. This is the Vikings defense that held that Cowboys team at bay, but it's also Vikings team that initially, at least the Vikings defense that wasn't good in the first half of that Cowboys game. I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to win this game. I think they're going to win and cover the 2.5. The Giants team is just lackluster, and I don't know. It felt like it had more pop with Jameis under center than it did Jackson Dart. I felt the confidence, and this is obviously Jackson Dart's a rookie, but the confidence in Jameis was, I'm confident I'm gonna get the ball out, and that's what you need when you have a team that's always up against it. It's not necessarily just a bad defensive offensive line, but like when they know you're going to be in pass pro, they can pin their ears back and go after you, right? So
Yeah.
I think the Vikings win and cover in this game. But I'll say this: I don't have any player props for this game, but I'll tell you one thing I'm never doing for the rest of the season: betting on Justin Jefferson ever again.
I mean, I take his unders every week now. I feel bad for him. Justin Jefferson's got to be in hell. He probably can't wait for the season to be over. And
Brutal,
just
man.
he's got to be just sick with how it's gone this year for him with the quarterback situation. I mean, look, man, I think this is a letdown spot for Minnesota. Both teams are eliminated, so they're not fighting for playoff spots. But as I've progressed into betting over the years, and even way before betting,
Yeah.
it was always, well, it's a meaningless game. That's true in the standing sense, but guys are still fighting for jobs. Coaches are still fighting for their status as the head coach. So every game does have implications. It's just not for the playoff standings. They're fighting for next year. That said, I mean, look, I think the Giants are live today. I'd still probably lean Minnesota because their defense has been suffocating. It's been playing really well. And I think that they'll be able to run the ball with Jones and Jordan Mason, kind of leaving J.J. McCarthy in that game manager type of role. Maybe he makes a couple plays. And look, like at the end of the day, even though Jettas has had a bad year, you still can't sleep on him.
Yeah.
Like you have to account for him. And that leaves other guys like Jordan Addison open, or even Jalen Naylor or TJ Hawkinson. Like any one of those guys from Minnesota would have to be accounted for. And I just think their defense also is going to have the ability to hold the Giants down. But I mean, if I was betting on somebody for the Giants, I got to be honest. I think I'm like interested in still looking at Wan'Dale Robinson. He's been a menace this year.
Dude, he has. He's got the juice, man. He's got the juice. He said, "Oh, Malik goes down. I have no other choice but to just be targeted a crap ton." But Wan'Dale Robinson is actually a good use case because something to look at is like how elite NFL wide receivers are just as a whole. The one goes down, and then they lose their running game. I don't lose the running game. I don't want to say that is the not right way to use it, but they lose their feature back, and they turn to Wan'Dale Robinson, who was never a bad wide receiver, turned him into a great wide receiver for this season, at least serviceable, right? It just shows you how elite these players are, right? Like at any given time, most of these players can just turn into be that guy on their team.
Yeah,
really
for
cool.
sure. So Wando's had a good one. I mean, maybe he's an interesting touchdown scorer north of 2-1, but we'll dive into that a little bit later. Brad, big question here. Do you think the Buffalo Bills giving 10.5 at Cleveland's a little shady?
It is. It feels weird because the Bills defense is so bad, man.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And I try every week to be like, I'm gonna bet on the Bills because they're in this fantastic situation. They're playing against a team that's X, Y, and Z against the spread. They're against a team whose offense is X, Y, and Z. And then you look at the defense, and you're like, how are they just allowing these chunk plays? How are they not stopping the run? Like, put it in perspective, this team is 31st. There's only one team that is worse than them in EPA per rush on defense. And this is a team with Super Bowl aspirations. 10 just feels like big, right? Like, I also am not super high on the Browns, but I think the Browns are good enough defensively to where they might be able to keep it a little close. I think 10 feels like a lot, man. What about you?
10.5. Yeah, dude, honestly, I agree. I think 10.5 is a lot on the road. I mean, in realized context, the Bills should blow them out, but the Cleveland defense is good enough to make plays to slow down the Bills offense, force Allen into a mistake or two. Myles Garrett wrecks the game as usual. And, when it comes to the Bills defense, like Quinshon Judkins could have a good game if this stays in relatively neutral-ish game script.
Yeah.
Shador Sanders could hit a couple of his receivers downfield. I would probably side with Cleveland getting the 10.5. It's not official, but I just think their defense could keep them in there. But, Brad, I did want to touch on it.
Yeah.
If this game does go sideways and Buffalo's up a ton, I think this is a solid look for some Shador ladders.
Yeah. What's his
Shador,
baseline?
177.5 passing. I mean, here's what I'm thinking, right? Shador 250 pass, parlayed with 3 pass touchdowns and a Myles Garrett sack. That's 50-1. Your point, Garrett's probably getting home again. He's
definitely getting a sack.
He's a couple sacks away from getting the record here.
He's definitely getting a sack. Like that's 100%. I don't hate it.
I think I might be interested. It's gross, but it's just like I think there's a scenario if Shador Sanders is forced to throw the ball 40 times and they're in comeback mode. I think it's possible. I mean, we saw it against Tennessee where he threw the ball 42 times. He had 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he ran one in.
Yeah.
I mean, last week against Chicago, it was a terrible, terrible game script. I mean, he got bombed. It just didn't work. But I don't know, man. I think there's a world here where Shador has a good bounce back, and I think in this kind of situation, it's pretty interesting. It's something I might throw like $10 on.
Yeah. That's not. I mean, it makes sense. My only problem is
3 scores.
My only problem is like this freaking coaching staff has been so weird with Shador, man. It's been so weird. Like,
are they trying? Are they intentionally trying to like? What's the word? Not throw him under the bus. Like, what's
they're not making
word
life easy for him.
Yeah, but
that's damn sure. Make him the scapegoat.
No, yeah, but no. There's a word I'm trying to look for. I skipped my vocabulary lesson this morning. What's the word? I don't know the word, but I think they're like working against them, sort of like they're setting them up to fail, basically.
Yeah,
and I mean I don't know that for a fact, but maybe
I think they are.
I think that's definitely possible, but I don't know, man. Look, if Shador Sanders ends up throwing the ball like 40 times, I think 253 scores in a trail spot where they're playing catch up is not a bad look. I might take that as like a little $10 taste just to get some action on it. But ultimately, I think Cleveland 10.5 is probably where I'd side at home. They just got embarrassed. I don't know. It's not official, but I might lean Cleveland here 10.5.
Yeah.
Buffalo is like full pedal to the metal. They feel like they see the division in their sights, which is huge. All right. Jets at the Saints 6.5. This has been steamed up. New Orleans, man. We've talked about New Orleans all year. Every week we say the same thing about the Saints. Every week. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we should create a super cut from each week of us talking about the Saints.
Yeah, dude.
They're not a good team, but they play hard. They have individual talent. Hard. They fight to the end. They won a game last week against Carolina that kind of threw a wrinkle into the NFC South division race that they had no business winning.
No business.
6.5. Well, at what point is it too much to take the Saints at home as a big number?
Dude, I actually like the Jets in this game. I think that we're just overvaluing the Saints for that win that they had. Like they played against a Panthers team that's still a bad Panthers team. Jets are pretty bad in their own right, but Brady Quinn got that first start under his belt, right? Now can kind of settle in a little bit. 6.5 just feels like a lot of points.
It's also fair to point out you get these teams that cover, but a lot of times they're covering as an underdog.
Yep.
So like New Orleans isn't used to laying 6.5 against anybody. So covering as like a 5.5 point dog is a lot different than covering as a 6.5 point favorite. I mean, it's a gross game. I don't think I have anything.
I meant Brady Cook. Did I call him Brady Quinn?
Yeah, you said
I don't
Brady
know
Cook.
what I said.
I think I could be intrigued to take a Tyler Shuck touchdown, 290. I mean, this dude is running like Lamar Jackson. He's scoring touchdowns. It's insane. But I'm going to probably lean the Jets. It's gross, but I don't have anything official. I don't know if I'm going to even play anything in this game at all.
Yeah. I don't have anything official in this game. I even like from a prop perspective, I lean Cook rushing over at 18.5, but outside of a lean, that's it.
Yeah. All right, here's your game of the week. Tampa at Carolina. That's a 3. Looks like it could be getting to a 2.5 before kickoff. Kickoff's under 2 hours away. All right, Brad. We've done enough stuff together to know, for you to know what I feel about this spot.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if you remember what I've talked to you about with teams in this spot.
You like the divisional home dog.
Interdivision home dog, small number. That is something that has come home a lot. Something my dad actually taught me years ago.
Yeah.
I think Carolina and Tampa right now, through 15 weeks, both have shown that they have low variances. Like when they play down and they don't play their best, it's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad. Now look, Tampa's obviously the more talented team, but like Tampa's defense has gotten gashed. Their defense the last like 5 weeks has been terrible. They blew it against Atlanta, which is inexcusable. They basically blew it against New Orleans. They couldn't get a stop either. Their defense couldn't hold it down against New England. I know that Tampa's got their guys back, and they got Big Mike, they got Godwin, Ibuka, Irving, Jalen McMillan. Like, yeah, I get it. But the line, man, Baker's been getting beat up. I feel like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised after this season ends to hear like Baker fractured something or like he had to get surgery. He's playing through something somewhat serious. You know what I'm saying? Like Baker's had to like gut it out every week. Whereas Carolina, I think we both agree they're not a good football team. They're definitely better than they were last year. They're making improvements. But they've still shown that they're a tough team and they're home interdivision. Like this is a huge spot. This is very well could determine the NFC South. These two teams are going to play again in a couple weeks, possibly for the division on the line in that game. But Carolina at home getting 3. Look, man, I think Tampa probably wins, but I think I'm taking Carolina with the field goal here.
Yeah.
I don't think Tampa should be laying 3 against pretty much anybody right now.
Dude, so you talked about this Bucks defense, right? And there's this weird like sense that people think, oh, the Bucks defense is not that bad. And then you go and actually look at the numbers. It's pretty bad. 18th in EPA, 24th in success rate. This is, mind you, 18th in EPA because they're only 18th instead of way worse because they're third in rush EPAD. But what's really alarming, these are the two most alarming numbers that are going to hold a team back. We'll talk about the first one. They're allowing third down conversions on 40% of the third downs. 40%. That is 21st highest in the NFL. And then the next one, this one is, it makes my stomach hurt to hear this. They allow the 25th highest completion percentage at 66.81%. That is appalling. They're basically letting quarterbacks basically do whatever they want. And I don't care how good your pass defense is. I mean, your run defense is, how good your offense is. With those numbers, if you're letting teams complete passes and move the chains, you're going to lose more games. It's gross.
Yeah, I mean, we both love the Bucs coming into this year. The Bucs were my team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And through the first 5-6 weeks, we're celebrating like Baker, like all these fourth quarter comebacks. Like he's playing lights out. The defense was playing really well, and they were doing it all without a lot of key guys. The shoe kind of dropped on the other foot there. And look, I think we both agree Tampa is capable of being a top 5 team in the NFL, top 2, top 3 team in the NFC. But we haven't seen it. I want to be on Tampa in this game. I really do. I want to bet Tampa. I want to think they win big. I want to think that they still have the juice to make a run in the NFC. It's just, I think the injuries have caught up to them. And really it's coming on the line because Baker's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. Get the shit kicked out of him. And you know what's funny? I thought he was injured at first, and then it felt like he got healthy again. We're going into the playoffs, that's just not good. If they make the playoffs, let's keep it at that. If.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna take Carolina with the 3. I know there's some other books. I think a lot of them have this game at 2.5, and I think that can move down to 2.5. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised within the next 90 minutes that there's enough money coming in on Carolina to knock this down to 2.5 because it looks like it's right on the scale there. Because Carolina is +3, -120 on at least a couple books that I saw. So a little bit more money could push this down to 2.5 inside that key number of 3. I like Carolina getting the 3. I'll probably make that an official play. I actually threw Carolina in a parlay on the spread. I took them up a little bit to 6.5.
Okay.
You might be
like,
well, why don't you take Tampa Bay money line? I mean, because in all fairness, I could see Carolina winning this game. Like there's a world I think Tampa comes out flat and Carolina gets it done. But look, and on the other side of the coin, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tampa get their head out of their ass and come out and drop a 40 bean and win convincingly.
Yeah.
But I think I probably would handicap this game as being a little bit closer and probably a 1-possession game. All right, Cincinnati at Miami. Big shakeup here. Tua is done. It's going to be Quinn Ewers making his debut. So, Brad, I think this was a 3.5 line before the Tua announcement came out, and then it got up to 4.5. You'd have to fact check me on that one. Now late money's coming in on Miami, which I think we've gotten burned enough, and we've talked about enough. Most of the time when I see a team get steamed late on Sunday morning, that's more times than not the side that I probably want to be on.
Yes.
So 4.5 became 3.5 within the last 24 hours. Probably, honestly, no, what am I saying? Within the last 45 minutes. Because when I made these graphics, this line was 4.5, and then it got moved down to 3.5.
Since the last 29 minutes ago, it was 4.5.
Okay, there you go. So within the last half hour, this moved a full point. So which means money's coming in on Miami. Cincinnati's -120 at -3.5. So a little bit more action on them could push this into the 4s. But I think it's going to be Miami. I typically like to lean on that side. Look, I know Quinn Ewers, there's a lot of things working against the Dolphins. You got Ewers making his first start. You got the Bengals with a lethal offense. Both of these teams are out of the playoffs. I think the Bengals will score today, but I think I'm going to take Miami with the 3.5. Debating on if I'm going to make it official, but I do like Achane. I do like Jamar Chase in this matchup. Do you think? What do you think about this game?
Dude, this game is a game where I thought you can get a little down, get a little dirty with some of the player props. You have to be on HN. Like we talk about this
Yep.
every single time against the Bengals. But what presented to us is another opportunity outside of just taking the 82.5 rushing yards. You could take 116.5 rushing and receiving because you have outs for him just to hit that with his rushing. This is the worst run defense in the NFL, not only in just EPA numbers and success numbers, but also in explosive runs allowed. Running backs are just gashing them.
Yep.
And I also just think there's a little bit of value in Darren Waller. I was drawing a blank there, bro. In Darren Waller, he's plus 290 on Profit X. I don't know if it's still there, but it was this morning. Plus 290 on Profit X to score a touchdown. They allow the single most highest touchdown completions, touchdowns to tight ends in the NFL. And his receiving numbers are 30.5, which is not terrible, but I would rather just take him because they target him in the red zone a ton. And I want to add this. I know this has been floating around Twitter a lot. I'm not one to like share plays like with other cappers. Like I want it to be in my own mind. I saw a lot of people taking Theo Weiss Jr. Because both his touchdowns, Quinn Ewers, were to him in preseason. I thought that was pretty good, but I also thought that shows that Quinn Ewers is going to want to target the tight end in the red zone as well. So
you think Weiss scores?
Sure, if he gets enough snaps in the red zone, I don't know, but I don't think the play is bad at 20-1. But I think that the logic makes sense for Waller. Does a team that already targets
Waller? I have Waller. I'll share a touchdown parlay put together today, but I do have Waller in there, automatic against Cincinnati with the tight ends. They're not only allowing the most touchdowns to tight ends this year, but it's by a very wide margin.
Yeah.
So I think Darren Waller is a very strong play to get in the end zone today. And he gets the snaps in the red zone.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. So I think Waller is definitely a good play. I did want to touch on Achane, though, real quick. Achane's had a great year. I remember talking about him in the preseason. That would probably be the only Dolphins player that I wanted in fantasy.
Yeah.
So as of recently, Achane's hit 90 rush yards in four of the last 5 games. Last week against Pittsburgh, he had 60 yards, but was on 12 carries, so 5 yards carry. The only reason he didn't hit it was because they were trailing and they were in pass mode. And he had 6 catches for 67 yards. So Achane's had a really strong year. And I think, bro, honestly, as long as this guy's getting 15 carries today, 82, 83 yards should be well in the cards. And I think total rush receiving is a good look by you as well, because you never know, man. These rookie quarterbacks making their first start, maybe some dump offs, just get the ball in your hands, get the ball to one of your playmakers, guy in space, let him do the work, put the yak in. So I think that's a fair number. I think HM minus 195, obviously steep, but I don't hate it in a parlay. Typically don't like laying those, but I think HN's a very strong play to get in the end zone as well. So, I mean, if we were cooking up a same game touchdown parlay, I think it'd probably be HN, Jamar Chase, and Darren Waller, which would be almost 9-1. I think that's decent.
I think I also think that if you're interested, anybody who's interested, you can take HN longest rush over 17.5 minus 115 too.
I like that.
He's hit in 8 of the last 9.
Yeah.
49, 46, 12, 22, 59, 23, 29, 39. And he missed last week. I think last week was 15.5 was his longest rush and got 15.
Yeah.
And he's at 17.5. He opened at 16.5 though, to be.
Yeah.
Just 1 yard. I don't say it lightly, like just 1 yard, but you know what I mean.
No, it's look, man, you're right around the area. That's solid. All right, Brad, Kansas City for the first time in 10 years, man. It's literally since betting became legal, Kansas City had never missed the postseason. It's the first year. It's weird, man. It's weird. This is a very strange season. Kansas City is out. Mahomes tore his ACL, unfortunately. How many times have you heard of a guy tearing his ACL and he gets surgery the next day? Not very often.
No.
But the Chiefs know, hey, we want Mahomes back for opening for week 1. He's going to be under center for week 1.
They're going to rush his ass back. You know what's crazy? This I wish that the Chiefs, like, I don't know how to describe this, but anytime someone's playing with a sore knee as a quarterback that's mobile, never, ever do we ever have something good come out of it. Ever. It's always an Achilles, always an ACL. And it pains me that this team was fighting, because if they would have had a little bit of wiggle room, he would have never forced it.
Yeah.
And then that's what brought the injury.
Yeah. We're on the Chargers last week, too.
Yeah.
We're on the Chargers. But, oh, wait, real quick, by the way, I'm so mad we lost our parlay last week. We were live, too. Seattle just couldn't.
Yeah.
Seattle, was Seattle the only thing that missed?
In Dallas, but we were going to hedge.
Well, no, yeah, we were going to hedge. We were going to take We're going to split it on Minnesota. So we had Rice 6 catches. We had Chargers 7.5. We had Lions +7 that pushed. We had JSN 7 catches. That hit. I think that hit. And then we had Seattle -13.5. And then the last leg was going to be Dallas money line. Seattle I don't think Seattle unfortunately, they've been really good in these big spreads. I think they just went really vanilla, super vanilla. So that was the only thing that really missed, because, like you said, we're probably going to throw half of our potential profit on Minnesota with the spread, just shoot for a middle, but we still would have came out with a win. Regardless, Brad, it does suck. I know a lot of people are happy to see Kansas City out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whatever side of the fence you're on that, it's definitely going to be different with them out.
Very different.
Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy. And I think last week, Gardner Minshew was put in an impossible spot. Coming in late in the game on the line, cold, didn't see any action. He's going against a pretty good defense. It was an impossible spot. But they're traveling to Tennessee. Look, man, Tennessee's not good, but again, they're like one of these teams that fights. And you know me, dude. I love Cam Ward. I think he's going to be a superstar. I just don't think they have enough talent around him right now. But Tennessee, dude, they've been fighting. I mean, look at it last week. Last week they hung in there against San Francisco. Yeah, they got backdoor covered. Well, they pulled the backdoor cover, and then San Francisco wrestled the backdoor cover away from them. It was 12.5, and SF kicked the field goal with like a minute left. Game over to cover. But they were in that game. They beat the Browns the week before. They got smoked by Jacksonville. They hung in there with Seattle. They hung in there with Houston. They hung in there with the Chargers, and before that they got steamrolled by the Colts. So really, if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 6, they've been hanging in there, hanging around. They're at home. No Mahomes. Obviously changes everything. Rashee Rice is going to be out for this one. Not official, but I think I'd probably side with Tennessee getting the home 3 here. Does that sound crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Dude, but listen, I'm going to tell you this. I think you're on the right track, right? I think you are doing it the right way. There's no way I can confidently say you bet the Chiefs. I think it's Tennessee Titans or pass.
Okay.
You're talking about a team that lost their best player, the player who single-handedly kept them in this.
Yeah.
Also going to be without their best wide receiver. We see what this receiver core looks like without him. And then all of the motivation is gone. There were players on that team who didn't even know they were eliminated from the playoffs after the game. Like, come on. I don't think 90% of the roster has had to have those conversations of, hey guys, we're one game away from elimination. It hasn't been the Chiefs' way in the past 6 years, and they could be the most unmotivated team we see today.
Maybe. Very, very, very well could be. So I do agree. Titans are pass. All right, Brad, we are into the 4:00 window here. Some very pivotal matchups. Jacksonville's at Denver. This was a flat 3. A couple days ago, this moved out to 3.5. Looks like there could be some. It's -120 for Jags, plus 3.5, -120. So it definitely looks like a little bit of money on them can push this back down to 3.
Yep.
But I got to be honest. I liked Denver at 3. I like them to win this game today. I think I probably would still lean 3.5. I don't buy Trevor Lawrence, and I don't think this Jags defense is as good as it's played this year, if that makes sense. Denver's defense we know is legit. Their offense has started out slow, but they do have the potential to turn it on. Their offense played really well against Green Bay last weekend. I like the home spot, the travel advantage. Jacksonville to Denver is a relatively long flight. And I don't know if I buy the Jags. I think, and Denver's got number 1 overall seed in their sights. I think this is a Denver Broncos hit for me.
You know what's funny? Let's back up for a second. You remember we took the Jaguars to win the division before the season started, and I did. I thought it was a team decision. I don't know.
I'd have to go back and check the tape.
I
don't think Houston. I definitely didn't take. I don't think I took Tennessee.
I didn't take the Colts. I thought we took the Jaguars. I have to check my bet slip, but I didn't even realize it was winning.
We might have taken the Jags because I think by process of elimination.
I think we had to, yeah. And I didn't even. I know I have a bet on the Jags to win the division, so I thought we talked about it in the show. I didn't even know it was winning until last week. I knew the Jags were playing well, but I just thought the Texans were a couple games ahead, and I go and look, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I do think that this is a chance for the Broncos to absolutely cook this team through the air. And I'm saying this term so lightly, right? Because Sean Payton doesn't do anything to make life easy for Bo Nix. There are no passing concepts, no combination of route trees that are like really QB friendly. I get it, right? Sean Payton expects his quarterback to throw at a high level, to play at a high level, because when he babies it or he dumbs it down, it ultimately makes the team worse. But the Jags really haven't played any real legitimate wide receiver threat this season. They played Nico Collins. That's about it. Because when they played the Rams, Puka Nacua was out. You know, so just Nico Collins, and that's about it. I think Jason, they play Jason as well, right? But Nacua went for.
I'm pretty sure Jason cooked them too.
Yeah, he had 160 plus, and then Nico Collins had like 130. If Bo Nix can have a day, I have them winning by margin, by like, excuse me, by 5 or 6. I mean, by 6.5 or more. So I like this one to take the alt line instead of just taking the 3.5.
Yeah, I agree. I like Denver at home. I mean, look, if this was Denver in Jacksonville, I'm potentially could change my handicap. I think Denver's better overall. I think, we've played this game a couple times where you take the 4 main units: Jags offense, Broncos offense, Jags defense, Denver defense. The one unit I feel most confident about is Denver's defense.
Yep.
That's the one unit where I feel like, hey, they have the best chance of having success out of all the other 3 units today. I don't know. I think Denver is a little sloppy, but I think they're a strong team overall. Bro, you heard me say I had Denver winning this division preseason.
Yep.
So I like Denver coming into the year. It's not a surprise that they're doing what. I'm actually surprised they're not doing as well as I thought they would. Like, yeah, they have a ton of wins. They have the ability to get the 1 seed, but I think we both agree that their offense has been very sloppy at a lot of points this year. They start slow, then they have to rely on these like heroic finishes in the fourth quarter. But I think Denver here is a good play. It's actually insane to me that this could very well determine the number 1 seed this game today. Like, what the fuck? Preseason, we didn't think this was going to determine the 1
Not a
seed.
chance.
Come on. Really? No way. No way. But here we are. That's why they play the games. All right. Another pair of teams that's eliminated, Atlanta at Arizona. It is 2.5. Falcons on the tipping point of 3. Brad, I'll let you start this one off. Do you think Arizona's able to get this done today, or is Atlanta gonna hit the travel spot?
Dude, this was a hard one for me because defensively, neither of these teams have been good. But one thing that when the Falcons play better defensively, it's because they're able to get pressure on the quarterback. If they can make life or at least unsettle Jacoby Brissett, he's not going to piece them up. I think the Falcons win this game. There's so many times when the Falcons play this season where you're like, what the heck are you doing? And from a coaching standpoint, if Morris can call a clean game, and I'm not talking about the offense and the defense, I'm talking about the little things, clock management, situational awareness. I think they are live to win even in the travel spot. This is another one that I'm not like that. I'm like you. I'm not overly concerned about the travel in this one. I have Arizona winning and covering, but
Wait, you mean Atlanta?
yeah, Atlanta. But they're not. I just don't think they're a good team. But they do get Drake London back. We've been playing without Drake London this whole time for like 4 weeks, which is huge.
Yeah, I think I slightly lean Atlanta. It's not official, but I think Arizona's got a lot of flaws on their team. They're a fun team to watch, especially for fantasy. Like Jacoby Brissett, I'm in the fantasy semis this week. You know, I've been riding Jacoby Brissett because Kyler Murray was my QB, and I picked up Brissett, and I start him every week, and I just never looked back. So I need a big one from him, and he's been – I would probably think – I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think if you did the comparison since the week Brissett started, I think you'd probably be hard-pressed to find 3 quarterbacks that have been better than him from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
So Brissett's
I can pull that data really fast.
Brissett's been a menace. I think Atlanta wins. I just think their defense is a little bit better. I think they're a little bit more consistent on offense. Definitely some good props here. I love that London's back. I have him in that touchdown parlay with Darren Waller. I have a London yards prop. I like Trey McBride today. We'll touch on the props here in a few minutes, but definitely think there's some good prop angles in this game here that we will get to momentarily. Holy shit! No way.
I froze my computer trying to pull that Jacoby Brissett data of quarterbacks because my dumbass, excuse the language, I've on this freaking big CV and it's screwing my whole computer.
Brother, all right.
Oh my God. No, why did I do that?
Okay, I have to update this now because this morning when I made these graphics, the Lions were a 6.5 point favorite. They've been the 6.5 point favorite all week. Then probably at the beginning of the show, they moved to 7. And then as I go to put this graphic up, Detroit has moved from a 6.5 point favorite to a 7 point favorite to a 7.5 point favorite, all within an hour span. Money is pouring in on the Detroit Lions. They've moved a full point this morning. That is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You don't realize, like, day of, game day, that's a lot of movement. So I love the Lions at 6.5. I gave it out on my RotoWire Pick 5 video this week. I like them at 7. Is 7.5 starting to become too much for Detroit?
No, I think Detroit wins this one with margin. The Steelers were lucky, bro. It's really bad to say that a team was lucky in a game that they won. They were stopped defensively for the entire first half. If it weren't for Tua being the worst quarterback in the NFL, there's a very real shot that they were losing to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were having a totally different conversation instead of benching their quarterback. The Steelers' problem, again, no TJ Watt, which makes them incrementally worse on defense, is they're a team that has always been able to rely on defense. For everything that they might have lacked offensively, they could always count on their defense. This team that's 18th in EPA per play, 20th in success rate, a team that is just not good. Now the Lions, I'm a big Lions believer since Campbell decided to take over the offense. They themselves also are having some issues with injuries. I think they win this one by 10 plus. And I could be wrong, but I just feel like they'll be able to get pressure on Rodgers. If you think the Steelers are run a lot of 12 personnel, just wait until this game. This is going to be the most 12 they're going to run all season. They're going to bring a bunch of extra bodies to try to put pressure or to chip these edge rushers. What do you think?
It's a bit intimidating to see the team you like get moved to full point, but I agree, especially without TJ Watt. Look, here's the end of the day. Like, both Pittsburgh and Detroit have a lot to play for with the playoffs on the line right now, but Detroit, I mean, their defense is so bad. Oh my God, dude, they're getting smoked every week on defense, but their offense is super capable, as we all know. Ultimately, I think Detroit at home, in a game that's basically going to decide if they make the playoffs, for the most part, are going to come out on fire. Let's see what kind of preparation Dan Campbell has instilled this week. Let's see if he has his team ready to play. Because I think if Detroit wins, Detroit's going to win by double digits easily. So I'll still buy the Lions at 7.5. We have 4 plus hours to see if there's any other movement on this game, but I'm still fine with laying the Lions 7.5. I'm still okay with that. I don't like it because I hate trying to I've talked about this several times here. I hate trying to chase the steam train. The steam train's fucking going. It's full move here. But I still think it's a solid look to take the Lions at 7.5 at home with essentially a playoff spot on the line. Like, if they lose, it's going to – I don't know if they're mathematically eliminated, but it's going to be really hard for them to get in, especially after the Bears won. Give me the line 7.5. Give me the line 7.5.
I think we're in agreement, man.
So hang on, I got to text my guy to get this.
Well, it must be nap time for my daughter. I can hear her yelling "night, night." That's funny.
I'm doing the Shador 3 tutties, 250 pass, Myles Garrett sack parlay.
Heck yeah.
Fuck it. We'll get some good props in this one as well. We'll get to shortly here. All right, Raiders at the Texans, 14.5. I mean, buddy, if you told me the Texans were going to be laying 14.5 against anybody this year, I would have said that's crazy. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Pete Carroll sits in as president and CEO of Cuck Nation once again? Because he knows the spread is going to try and backdoor this.
Bro, God.
So do I go nuts about this against the Broncos game where the game was over and then just some bullshit happened? Like, do we think the Raiders are down 17 with like 10 seconds to go and they kick the field goal to lose by 14 instead of 17 instead of going for the touchdown when the game's over?
No, I don't think the Raiders are going to be competitive at all in this game. I don't think they're going to be competitive to like. This is an elite defense. It is absolutely elite. I don't have anything to say about this game. I don't have a real opinion. I'm just trying my best not to take these massive spreads. They're just like, because like at the end of the day, teams just want to win. And if there's no difference to them if they win by 15 or if they win by 10, you're still beating them. You're still kicking someone's ass if you're beating them by 5, if you're beating them by 10 points.
I'm going to take the Texans. I agree with you. I don't think the Raiders, barring like a defensive or special team score, is going to be getting anywhere close. I'm trying to look up actually what the scoring props are. I know where to find it. Sorry, 1 second. I want to see what their number is, like team total. Where you at, you little motherfucker? Oh, here we go. 12.5. Yeah, 12.5 points. That's nuts. But yeah, man, look, I think I'm going to take the Texans. Their defense, like, bro, again, something we touch on every week. Their defense is sick. Their defense is weak. It was always their offense that was a problem. But now their offense has been playing as a big complement, a good enough complement to their defense. And their offense is looking pretty solid, I got to say, man. You got CJ Stroud's coming back up. You got Nico's having a good run. You have other guys filling in. I don't know. I like the Texans here. I think I'll put it to you this way. I think if the Texans can get to 28 points, I think they're going to cover.
Yeah.
I think they cover.
I think the Raiders will be lucky to get 10 on the board. Raiders team total is 10.5.
12.5.
12.5.
Yeah, I'm going to lay it with the Texans, man. I'm going to lay it with the big. I think they're going to get this one done. I think they'll get this one done. And I don't think Houston's going to take them lightly because they know they got to chase Jacksonville. They're still playing. They're still playing for something. Like the AFC South crown is firmly in their sights.
Yep,
they're playing for it. Okay. Wow. Another more movement. All right. Got to update this shit. All right. Here we go. Patriots at the Ravens. Brother, this was a flat 3. Just moved to 3.5. Total came down from 49.5 to 48.5. Again, big spot here, man, because the Patriots, I think if they win, I want to see if they win. It's going to be basically impossible for them to lose the AFC East. And then that also is still putting them firmly in the number 1 overall seed mix. Ravens got to keep winning for the AFC North crown. So this game, along with the Jacksonville Broncos, is going to be huge for AFC seeding implications and playoffs. I got to say, man, like we doubt New England all the time. And that was a brutal way for them to lose last week. It was brutal. They were up 21-0 to Buffalo last week, and they blew it.
All right. So I have a lot to think and say about this game. The spread makes me feel like the spread that's set, either I'm an idiot or I'm an idiot. And what do I mean by that is I like the Patriots plus the points, but the spread being so big at 3.5 makes me feel like I am not looking at this correctly. And the books are literally putting it on the table for me saying, Brad, the Ravens are winning this game. Are you blind? Like if it was 2.5, 1.5, I think it's a totally different story. So the Patriots, my rationale is like when teams excel at something really well, how can the other team stop them? Are they effective at stopping them? Will that be what keeps the other team from performing well? And okay, what I mean by that, Patriots are really good at throwing the ball. But what's really impressive about the Patriots, and this is vastly different than when Tom Brady was quarterback, where Tom Brady, and I don't want to call him dink and dunk quarterback. You guys know what I mean. A lot of it was short routes. So that's how Tom Brady played, if highly efficient. now they're taking more chances. They're throwing the ball not deep per se. They do take a lot of deep shots, but they throw the ball in that second level about 7 to 15 more than they throw it in that 2 to 5. That's the biggest area where the Baltimore Ravens struggle. The Baltimore Ravens struggle that 7 to 15. They allow a lot of completions. Drake May is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL now that Daniel Jones is out. He has the highest completions percentage in the NFL while still having the 6th highest ADOT in the NFL.
Yep.
Ravens, I think maybe it's just take Drake May passing yards and stop overthinking it. I genuinely believe that the line is wrong and you have to take Patriots 3.5.
All right, so I'll be honest. I want to be with you and take the Pats 3.5. But I think this is sharper money coming in on Baltimore.
Yeah.
To push his 3.5. So I'll start with this. I think the Ravens win this game. Let's work backwards. I think the Ravens are going to pull this game and win it outright. But I think 3.5 in this type of game is a lot, man. It's a lot. I got to be honest. I'm struggling with the spread. I think the Ravens are going to win this game.
So
I think I'll probably side with the Sharps and go Ravens with the spread. It's hard not to, but it's like, we're getting in our own head because how many times has happened all year where like we bet against the Patriots and then we finally wised up. Where it's like, we keep going against New England. They keep winning and covering all these games. They're on such a hot streak. And realistically, dude, like, are we having a different conversation? Is the line different if they don't blow a 21-point lead to Buffalo last week? Are we having a different thought process or a different conversation?
Yes.
I mean, they worked Buffalo in the first half.
Dude, worked them.
They worked them. But then James Cook had a monster day. Like the impenetrable New England run defense got gashed by James Cook.
I remember I was on James Cook rushing yards.
You got Baltimore with King Henry. You got Lamar using his legs. I mean, at home. Look, man, it might be the wrong side. I'm going to lean Baltimore. I don't know if I'm going to make it official yet. Guess what? What do you got yes on? I think I'm going to side with the Ravens. I'm not officially putting anything in probably until tonight. Like, I think Baltimore wins this game, yes. But side-wise, I'm leaning the Ravens minus 3.5 right now at 12:03 on Sunday morning or afternoon. I probably won't make this official until around 8 o'clock tonight, 7:45, 8 o'clock tonight, until I've had the day to think about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I really just got to – a lot of times, like, I put all this stuff in. I can't come to a decision at the moment. I need some time to marinate on it. And I think, for me, that's what I need in this side.
I get that. I'm the same way with when it comes to prime time.
Yeah. I think that's just where I'm at right now. All right. San Francisco at Indy, Monday night, 5.5. Reverse Royal mid spot. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, look, valiant effort for Indy and Phillip Rivers last week at Seattle. But if we're being honest, Indy didn't really do anything offensively. Like I don't know which D-back from Seattle said it last week. He goes, yeah, we just didn't make the adjustments quick enough. Like, we sat back too much. Because Phillip Rivers, they didn't adjust to the speed of the ball coming out of his hand. So I equate that to from a baseball side is in today's MLB, you have so many guys coming at you with like 97 to 102. That's like the norm now. So when somebody comes in throwing like 90, it might take an adjustment period for a hitter second, third time through the order to be like, all right, this guy's coming in, he's throwing slow, so we have to change up our approach a little bit. And that's how I kind of, make this comparison. I think a lot of teams just saw Phillip Rivers like, hey, first time back in a while. And Indianapolis's defense played well, but I think this was more on Seattle last week, not blowing them out. I think it was very vanilla. Mike McDonald looked like he had his team. Him and Clint Kubiak were calling everything very basic, and it didn't look like they had the pedal to the metal. Whereas I think if they had, which we were expecting, then they would have blew them out. Indianapolis at home Monday night. It's interesting. Spread-wise, I think I'm probably going to take San Francisco here. Again, San Francisco is another one of these teams that they're alive for the number 1 seed. They're alive for the NFC West crown. So I don't think they're going to be taking this game lightly. I think they're going to go pedal to the metal here.
I'm on San Francisco. I when I was watching that game between the Seahawks and the Colts, I was like, okay, no matter what the line is, as long as it's under a touchdown, I'm taking that team against the Colts. The Colts are just not a good team without Sam Darnold. Oh my God. Daniel Jones. Holy
there you
shit.
go.
Came out of my mouth. I alluded to him when I was talking about Drake May. Like, he's Mr. Efficiency, right? Now you bring in Phillip Rivers, who didn't get hit for real until that second half. And I tweeted when it came out, I was like, oh, he took his first hit and he felt it. He felt that hit, boy. Yeah, that's the kind of belt we need on him. And I know that Salah's going to just, all you have to do is just make it muddy for him early so it becomes harder late, right? So change the picture early so he's just not waltzing his way into these little dump offs, 5-yard passes, balls out of his hands quick. You want it to be something that's a little more difficult. I like it a lot. I'm on
San Fran
-5.5.
Yeah, I like San Fran as well. All right, so that wraps up our picks for the week. But as always, we got props parlays. We didn't really dive too much into them. Brad, talk to me about some props that you like today. Maybe we'll throw a nice little fucking parlay in there.
I like Bryce Young over 12.5 rushing yards.
Ooh, okay.
Home game against the Bucs, who have a fairly decent high scramble percentage allowed to quarterbacks.
Okay.
The Buccaneers play a lot of Tampa too, and
Wait, you mean the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play a lot of Tampa too?
They don't play it successfully. But the goal is you just make life really difficult for the quarterback. That's the goal, to complete a lot of passes. Bryce Young is playing for a shot to win his division.
Yeah.
I think he would rather use his legs than force it. Bryce Young in his last 3 games, when it became a real thing, they didn't realistically have a chance to win their division. Like 4 weeks ago, no one thought that was a chance. Bucs went on a losing streak. 15 rushing yards, 23 rushing yards, 49 rushing yards. I like Bryce Young over 12.5 rushing yards.
Okay. Staying in that game. Or actually, we'll have time, so I could kind of provide some context here. I put together a little long shot tutty parlay. I did CeeDee Lamb anytime. I did Drake London anytime. Little welcome back. How you doing? Darren Waller anytime. Nico anytime. Jahmyr Gibbs 2 tutties. So we'll get to that later. But Mike Evans, I do have in a different one. I think Mike Evans scores today. And breaking news, our guy Ben Hostler has Mike Evans scoring today as well. So that's definitely worthwhile. But I like Mike Evans to score today at 145. We're staying in that same game, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think Evans is good to go over 64.5 against this Tampa defense or Carolina defense. So that's probably my best look from this game is a big Mike, big game. So let's cook up this parlay here.
Okay.
All right. Ready? You got the app open?
Yep.
We're gonna hit one of these, and it's gonna be this week.
Oh yeah.
All right, put your Bryce Young in.
Okay.
I gotta be honest. I might be cool with taking him at like 20 plus. Let's see what Bryce Young's got lately.
All right.
Is he in?
He's in.
All right. Throw Big Mike anytime.
He's in.
Okay. So that's that game. Then all right. Then what? I think anything Chargers, Cowboys, any Lamb, any Lad.
I went Justin Herbert over passing yards. That number's all over the place though, but Hard Rock is the lowest at 230. It moved 231 and a half.
So then we go Herbert 225.
But,
how confident are you?
wow, that's pretty good. I'm very confident. That one.
Okay. Well, where are we at now? Just so you know, he's been under 225 in the last 4 games in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the situations that he had. He played Jacksonville, the game he got hurt. Played against the Raiders game where they didn't have to run the ball. They didn't have to throw the ball. They were dominated the entire game, 151 in limited action. Then played against the Eagles, who have the slowest pace in the NFL and an elite pass defense. Then they played against the Chiefs, another slow pace game. Now this is their first team where they play against a fast paced team and one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL.
Okay. Vikings, Giants, nothing in there. Bills, Browns. I mean, I did that game separately, so I want to keep that separate. I don't have any Bills props unless you do. I don't.
No, I will have a Bills prop, and I guess I'm going to take Shavers receiving yards, but like that's not a
go to the parlay.
No, it's not a parlay. No.
Jets, Saints. I don't think I have anything in the parlay. Like Tyler Shuck rush yards could be interesting, but I don't know if I'd love it enough to put it in that parlay. Tampa, Carolina, we already did. Bengals, Dolphins. Some stuff here. Chase, HN.
I like HN rush receive. Okay. I think HN is going to get fed one way or the other, but the fact that he can hit this with minimal rec yards, unless you think I'm overthinking it.
What
do you think of that?
HN rush receive,
or we just do rush?
I already have rush. I already have rush in a different one. I'm down for rush receive. Do you think Jamar Chase gets fed or no?
I think Jamar Chase gets fed. The weather's good too.
Yeah, it rained this morning in West Palm. It rained this morning, but I don't know about Miami.
Yeah, I think it rained this morning, and it's like a slight chance of rain, but it's 4%.
Okay.
Let me see I'm gonna go quarter by quarter to see, because I think the beginning of the game is not rain. Yeah, beginning of the game is not going to rain, and then like that. So they're saying if it starts to rain, it'll be in the second quarter, 4%, and then it'll have good cloud cover, low wind. That stadium's really good for wind anyway.
Do you want to go Jamar Chase and HN or one or the other?
One or the other.
All right, let's do HN rush receive. What's that number at?
116. Do you like that better than Chase? I just feel like they feed Chase so much.
They do.
I don't mind. I'll let you pick. I'm on HN personally, so.
I gotta be honest. I don't think you go wrong either way. Miami has been really good against wide receivers this year in limiting yards, actually number 1. But Jamar Chase is a different animal. But yeah, let's go HN. Let's go HN rush receive. Can you take that down from 116? Or is that a flat take it or leave it?
Combo rushing. No, you can't take it down.
All right. You still like 116?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I don't see it on here. Yeah, they don't have it on Hard Rock. Oh, there it is down the bottom. Oof, it's up to 117 on Hard Rock.
And there's no alts.
No alts.
That book sucks, man. Oh my god, what a mess. You still like it 117? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, throw it in. So don't overthink it. Jags, Broncos. Broncos money line.
Yes, 1000%.
Okay.
I laid Broncos money line at minus 200. On here, it's minus 180. But I
Okay.
played it on a credit book because I killed them, and I was like, well, I'm just going to play it on my credit book. I'll take the extra 20 cents.
Okay. Broncos money line. Good. How many legs is that? 5?
Yep.
What are we up to now?
We are up to 1596.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ. 1596 for 5 legs?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do ourselves a favor. Throw San Francisco money line in there because we know the drill.
Yep.
Okay.
San Francisco on that's tomorrow, right?
Yep. I don't have any props for New England
Let me see if I have
Ravens.
any more props. Hold on.
We have 2 more games that I really like for props.
All right, go ahead. Because my props are basically all in the same games. That kind of sucks.
I'm trying to avoid the props I already put.
Oh, dude, I know what we have to do.
What?
We have to drop down Travion Henderson and take him 40 plus rushing yards. We have to add that leg in.
Really?
Dude, it drops it brings it all the way up to plus 3,300. What?
What are you doing? Fucking 10 legs?
Listen, I think Travion Henderson 40 plus rushing yards needs to be in everyone's parlay this week.
Okay, fine.
Travion Henderson
I don't need the explanation.
Okay.
You know what? I value your expertise, so let's hear why.
Travion Henderson since Halloween 75, 55, 147, 62, 66, 67 yards going against a team that doesn't have a horrible run D, but we talked about the explosive run play allowed. They allow explosive runs. And what has Travion Henderson done in that time where he's been balling in all those games? 27, 69, 26, and 65 in his explosive runs.
Okay. So what are we up to now?
33-1.
On how many legs?
5.
5?
7.
Jesus. All right.
Dude, why don't we leave Travion Henderson? Let's see what the odds change. Leave Travion in there and take out Achane. What does that bring us to? 17-1. And we go somewhere else. I like Achane a lot, but I think we have to be in a parlay where we're putting this much effort into it. We have to be a little pragmatic about this is going to be a totally new look offense, right? What if Ewer just goes out there and sucks?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I like it. So we have 2 games that I really like for props: Falcons, Cardinals, Lions, Steelers. We'll start with the Falcons. I'm also trying to avoid double dipping because I have a couple parlays out here. So I'd prefer to leave Drake London out of this parlay. Yep. I have him in 2 different ones. Touchdown and yards. Trey McBride, I have 1 with catches at 7. By the way, like Atlanta's defense is literally number 1 against tight ends, but Houston was top 5, and last week he dry humped them all over the field. He had like 12 catches for over 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, like against one of the top defenses against tight ends. And like, listen, I think McBride's going to do really well today. I don't think the matchup matters because McBride is just one of those guys where you say, hey, my guy's better than yours, and he's the focal point. But if you wanted to, I like Brissett, maybe pass yards. He's gotten steamed up, man.
What's it up now?
Like, there's 258.5. I don't know. What do you like on McBride or Brissett or Bijan? I like Bijan. I think Bijan 90.5 is fair. We could take that down to 80.
Jesus, his rushing yards is 90.5.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's almost like CMC heyday rushing yards, where CMC, like when CMC would be only, their team would only be like a 2-point favorite, and he would still be at 115 rushing yards when he played with the Panthers. That was great. Man, 96 for a team that's not even a 2-possession favorite.
What do you think?
Wow. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm shocked. I didn't look at player props in this game because I didn't have time to do every single game.
All right, Bijan, McBride, or Brissett?
Give me 1 second.
Arizona's defense has been bad against the run this year.
I have their stats here. I'm good with whatever. I'm good with. I mean, man, I'm even good with Bijan because he ripped off 90 against the Bucks, and the Bucks have a top 3 run defense.
What can you take Bijan down to?
NFL.
Can you take 8? What's 80? Is there 80 and a half?
It'll probably be 80. Let's see.
Or 80, yeah.
Bijan 80 brings the parlay to 27-1.
And what is it if you leave it at 90?
17. Oh, if I leave it at 90, hold on. At 90 is 33.
So 90's 33 and 80's what?
80 is 27-1.
So it's 27 versus 33 for 10 yards.
Yep.
Let's do 80.
Okay. Wait, am I tripping? Did you say Mike Evans touchdown?
Yeah, why?
Okay. I saw it in there. I couldn't remember.
And then I guess the last one's the Lions game. Do you have anything for the Lions? I mean, I have Jahmyr Gibbs, a bunch of stuff. So I prefer to leave Gibbs out of it.
I don't like that game from a props perspective.
No? Nothing from like JMO or Amon Ra? No?
No, I don't have anything for that one.
All right, so what are we at? 8 legs?
It'll be a snow game. It's indoors. Why does it say a snow game? That's funny. Oh, because they're just warning fans. Dude, I was in Detroit for sports, and from my hotel, I took a scooter in like the freaking snow. It was like the worst experience ever. I was freezing. It was slippery as hell.
That's what you get for taking a fucking scooter in the snow.
It was horrible.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Taking a scooter in the snow. All right. So what are we at? 8 legs?
7. Unless you told me to add something that I missed.
Read it off to me.
Bryce, 13.5 over. Mike Evans touchdown. Justin Herbert's 224.5 passing. Broncos win. Niners win. Trey 40 plus. Bijan 80 plus.
Okay. I thought you said Bryce Young was 12.5.
Not on Hard Rock. They're freaking stupid.
I think Bryce Young is going to get 25 anyway. All right. That's what is it? 27?
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of legs for not a huge payout, but
but we have to remember that 2 of our legs are minus 200 or higher.
True. So $25 should win about $700.
Yep.
Do it. 25 each.
Yep.
Big dogs are finally going to eat, man. Let's go. We were close last week. Close.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
No, Hard Rock's so freaking annoying, man. Are they kidding me right now? Are they really kidding me?
If you're going to say something about a soccer bet, I'm going to kill you.
No, dude. Hard Rock, they keep doing this to me where it's saying my location's not verified and I have to rebuild the whole parlay. All right, we're good. Jesus, man.
So 25 each.
Yeah. Gosh, I hate when that happens.
Get a bookie.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Got it. Let's see. Oh, hello, you. I'll be like Joe Goldberg. Hello, you. All right, man. So it was a good show today. Appreciate your time as always. Kickoff is in 35 minutes. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Best of luck this week. Let's get some winners. Let the big dogs eat. We're going to have a big one. And if we don't talk to you before, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you before the new year. Brad, Merry Christmas to you and yours, brother.
Merry Christmas, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.